So Arsenal return to Europa League action this week here at the Emirates with the visit of Norwegian side Bodo Glimt. What do we know about these opposition? Stay tuned and we'll find out. Hello, my name is Richard. Welcome back to the channel over and over and over again. In this video, we are going to look at Thursday night's Europa League opponents, Bodo Glimt. Just before we get started, if you do enjoy what we do on this channel, please consider subscribing. There's a lot of great new shows this season. And if you do enjoy this video, please give it a like as well. So, Thursday night, Bodo Glimt. What do we know about them? Let's find out. So Bodo Glimt then were formed originally in 1916 as Glimt, which translates to flash in English. Back then, the teams in northern Norway were not allowed to be promoted to the National League, but they did win the first of 9 northern Norwegian titles in 1919. In 1948, the club changed their name to Bodo Glimt due to another club in Trøndelag who had the same name. Bodo, of course, is the city from which they are from. From 1972, the Northern Norwegian sides were finally allowed to get promoted to the top division, and Bodo Glimt did win the cup for the very first time in 1975, and a year later they did get promotion to the top flight for the first time. They did finish second in their first season in the National League, but they were relegated in 1980, and that actually led to a really bad decade for the club, which actually saw them relegated to the third tier in 1984. But they did begin a rise back from 1991. They got back into the top flight within 3 years, which was a record in Norwegian football. They did win the cup again in 1993, which is their most recent success in that particular competition, but they were relegated again in 2005. They returned to the top flight in 2007, but they were relegated again in 2010 and also in 2016. But they have been in the top flight since 2017, and in 2020 they did win their very first ever league title, and they followed it up with another success in 2021. They currently sit 4th in the Norwegian top division. So Bodo Glimt's record in Europe then stands that they played 52 matches across the European competitions. They've won nearly half of them with 25 victories. They've drawn 9 and lost 17. They've never previously played an English side in Europe before, although they did beat Celtic last season in the Europa Conference League. They won 2-0 at home and 3-1 at Celtic Park, but this will be their first ever meeting with an English side. In terms of current form, then Bodo Glimt currently sit in 4th place in the division. That's after 23 matches. Their season, of course, runs from January to November. But they have only lost 2 of their last 6 league matches, and they did win at the weekend away from home by 4-1. In Europe this season, then, they did get through initially through the qualifiers for the Champions League. They beat Kin Klosdak, and they also beat Linfield and Zalgiris before finally losing to Dynamo Zagreb, which saw them drop into the Europa League. They do come into the game on Thursday night, though, top of Group A with 4 points. Following a 1-1 draw away at PSV Eindhoven, they did beat FC Zurich 2-1 at home in their last match. So the coach for Bodo Glimt is Clydal Knutsen. He was born on the 2nd of October 1968 in Arna in Norway. He began his coaching career actually in the 5th tier of Norwegian football, and that was back in 1995. He did get them 2 promotions before taking over top tier side Brunn. He then later managed Tyrogen and Esane before taking over at Bodo Glimt in 2018, where he actually led them to their first ever league title in 2020 and again in 2021, bringing them into this Europa League competition. So the player to watch then for Bodo Glimt is striker Emil Pellegrino. He was born on the 18th of June 1990 in Drammen in Norway. So he's currently 32 years old. He was previously at Lillestrøm and also Strømsgard as well before he signed for Bodo Glimt in 2021, where he's actually scored an impressive 35 goals in just 58 appearances, and actually includes 27 from 35 games this season. So the one to watch on Thursday night will be striker Emil Pellegrino. So what do we think the Arsenal lineup will be then? I'm expecting quite a lot of changes from the Premier League 11, obviously with Liverpool ahead as well, probably rest a few players. So this is how I think we will probably line up for this game. I think Matt Turner will get another opportunity in goal. He didn't really cover himself in too much glory, did he, against Zurich in our last Europa League game? But I do expect him to keep his place in this particular game. I think Tomiyasu will come in at right back. I think Rob Holding will probably start again at centre back, alongside probably Gabriello. I do think needs more minutes. He's looked a little bit shaky in recent games, and this could be an opportunity to get him some confidence back. I think at left back, Kieran Tierney will come in, rest Zinchenko for the Liverpool game. I think in midfield, I'm expecting Granit Xhaka to play. He plays every game, doesn't he? And why not at the moment? He's playing so well. And I'd imagine Albert Sambi Lokonga will be partnering him, giving Thomas Partey a rest. We know what his injury record is like. I think Fabio Vieira will come in for Martin Ødegaard. I think Manquillos will come in on the right-hand side ahead of Bukayo Saka. And I expect Eddie Nketiah will start through the middle in place of Gabriel Jesus, who again needs a rest. I would imagine Martinelli will probably still keep his place on the left due to a lack of other real options, isn't there? Smith Rowe currently injured. So that's the lineup that I'll be expecting from Arsenal. I wouldn't necessarily trust that team in the Premier League too many times, but certainly in the Europa League, I think it's got a good balance. We've got some experience in there, some younger players as well. And obviously, we'll be excited to see Marquinhos here at the Emirates for the first time following that fantastic debut in Zurich. And I think this Arsenal team will be too strong for Bodo Glimt. I'm expecting a reasonably comfortable victory for Arsenal. The last time we played Norwegian opposition at the Emirates was 2 years ago. We did win that game 4-1. I'm expecting a similar scoreline. So I'm going to predict that score is going to be Arsenal 4, Bodo Glimt 1. So that's a little preview there of Thursday night's Europa League game against Bodo Glimt. Hopefully we gave you a little bit more information about our opposition. It should be a really good game, an opportunity for us to keep the momentum going, and an opportunity for us to get back onto the top of the group in the Europa League as well. So it should be a good game. Hopefully we can produce a good performance, score a few goals and make it an enjoyable evening. Don't forget, we will be back with the watch along, of course, on the channel on Thursday. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so we'll go live at 7:45, a bit of build up, your team news, and then of course full match commentary. And then after that on Friday, we'll be doing a watch along with the England Lionesses. They are playing the USA. It's the European champions against the world champions at Wembley. That's going to be a great game. So join us for that as well. And then of course Sunday, the big watch along here again at the Emirates, Arsenal facing Liverpool, a real test of our title ambitions that people seem to think we've got. And who knows, the way things are going at the moment, it is a title race, isn't it, that we're in. So that's going to be a really big game as well. That kickoff for that is 4:30. So we'll be live at 4:15 with a bit of build up, your team news, and of course full match commentary as always. If any of that sounds like it might be something that you might enjoy, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you've enjoyed this little video, please give it a like as well. We will see you for the big watch along Thursday evening at quarter to 8. So please join us for that Arsenal against Bodo Glimt in the Europa League. This is over and over and over again. My name's Richard. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you very soon. In the meantime, of course, as always, come on, you Gunners.